Welcome again to Kim's Bioproduction Academy. Today on our discussion, we want to discuss about research, purpose of research, importance of doing research in today's world. So what's research in definition? We have research and we have scientific research. So the scientific is a bit of a science. And research, we are just doing what has already been done, or we do new discoveries. The simplest definition of a research is the systematic and the vigorous process of inquiry into a problem for a purpose of discovering relevant information and principles. These are the key terms. We are speaking about being systematic. It should be followed systematically, and it's a vigorous process. Vigorous, you will require a lot of time when you are doing that research. Even in terms of economic cost, it's not that cheap, it's expensive. Then of inquiring into what we are looking for a problem for the purpose of discovering the relevant information and the principles. For research, we don't just do research. You look at research based on a problem section. Then now we look for a solution on how we'll solve the problem. We have now the scientific research. And from our former scientists like Kellinger Fred, 1993, defined scientific research as still, you can see it's systematic control, empirical and critical investigation of hypothesis proposition about presumed relationship among the natural phenomena. We are saying it's still what? Forecast. It's a systematic. We have to follow an order, an empirical and critical investigation. It's about what? Critical what? Investigation of a hypothetical proposition about the presumed relationship among the natural phenomenon, nature. Then we have the Blaise and Achola. Their color, that is 1988. How did they define scientific research? They defined still being a systematic investigation of a question. We look for a question of a phenomenon and or a problem following some principles. It's just copying the same definition. We are saying it should be scientific. And we look for a problem. That is where we get our question. Then we have a phenomenon and or a problem following some principles. Let's say in agriculture, we have these crop bests, right? We can use an example, the striker weed. The striker weed attacks maize and the cereal family. So this striker weed is a problem in terms of production. So what happens? That is our problem already. We now start some scientific investigation and we should follow systematically. Then our question, then phenomenon, problem of some of those principles. Research is a science. Research is a what? Science. Seeking or organizing, analyzing, interpreting. We're saying you do what? You organize, you analyze, and you interpret that data scientifically and systematically. Let's now check about the purpose of a research. We have various purposes of research. The first one, you discover new knowledge. The role of a research is to do what? To discover new knowledge. You know, all of the documentaries that we have is about discoveries, and we are still yet to be discovered. So this new knowledge involves discovering the new facts, the correct interpretation, and practical application. We are saying what? You understand about the new facts through the discoveries, the interpretation of that thing which is being created, and how is it being applied. Like in agriculture, we were using in the old days just a furrow system of irrigation and even the basin way. Development came and some discoveries, and we discovered about which one? Of irrigation. And the new further development discovered the use of the drip method system to conserve the water. That's about discoveries. Then we have exploration. This is where much social work is conducted. We are saying what? Exploration, from the term explore. So this is where much social work is conducted to provide familiarity of a certain topic, especially when studying new. That is what we now understand about this one. New or the unstudied research. We are saying especially when studying new or unstudied research. An example in Kenya, that was June 2024. There was a rise in tax paying it was about what? There was increase in terms of the payment of tax. And the citizens were somehow unsatisfied about that what? System of the tax payment. And they went to the streets to do what? To fight for their rights. So someone can do some research to know what led to that problem, which is the kind of a population which were involved. They are saying they are Gen Z. Then we have the millennial group. So they understand those ones, what led to, and even to the end, what that's about, the time taken, the destruction. It's unstudied. So they go and study that new research. So the importance for doing this exploration research is to satisfy the researcher's curiosity. To satisfy what? Researchers what? Curiosity and desire for the better understanding. What was the desire for this person doing this thing? Then to test the visibility and understanding of a more careful study. The visibility what? Of understanding and careful study. Then to develop the methods to be employed in a more careful study. This is just coming up with a new process. Then now after the exploration, like in terms of the agriculture system, still I can use an example there because that is where I have more knowledge. In terms of the methods that we were using in agriculture, it was just simplest farming methods. But right now we have precision farming, of which this kind of a precision farming, we are using much of technology. Technology has taken control. So because of this one, is now first we explore, then after doing that, we employ in a more careful study method. That the description. So we are saying our that is the what? Description. And the major purpose for description comes from the term you describe now. The major purpose of many studies is to describe situations and events. We are saying what? To determine and describe situations and events. He tried to discuss some of the following answers. To give answers to the following questions, sorry. Who, what, when, where, and even sometimes how. Let me use an example. When we are carrying out census, when will it be carried? Like in Kenya, it's carried after how many years? 10 years. Where will it be carried? Urban areas, locality, it's all the areas. Who is to be carrying? We have a body that will carry that. What will be done? Head count of human population, even to animal population. And sometimes how. And what are the reasons why we do that? Those are now the description. You describe why we do these things, and you should give us the answers based on the following questions. Then again, even the poll conducted during election. You can see on the city areas, they go and do during the election the poll, and they speak about a certain candidate is at a certain percent, a certain, in terms even of the parliamentarians, they give that what? Based on checking what has been done, how it has been done, then they grade them, and we are given the list of their performance. Let's say the member of parliament from a certain point, like the current pool, we have in Kenya, Babu Owino being the leading performing member of parliament. That is the description. Then from that point, even the age and the sex profile. Like in the world, currently, we are speaking about what? The female population, that is the sex, female, being at a population of what? They're around 5.5 billion, and the male around what? 2.3 billion. That is what we are speaking about now. Then we have explanation. Explanation. From the term explanation, you have described already. You have to explain how you found what? Your results that you have given us on a description section. So our research has an explanatory purpose. Our research has what? Explanatory purpose to explain about these facts of events, e.g. election, production rates. So let me use the production rate in terms of explanation. You have done some experiment with the same you have done under the same variables. You have the dependent and the independent. Let's say you are doing based on fertilizer ratio, and you have done using this fertilizer ratio, using the same fertilizer ratio, but using different plots. But at the end, in terms of the yield, they give you a difference. So it means, according to your description, you will have given as to why. And the main reason for that, it will not be based on the fertilizer, but it will be based on other factors. Let's say the environmental factors and even the soil factor. So it means now you get to give that explanation, that prediction. When you speak about prediction, it's something that has not been done. It's about predicting about the future. So this ability to estimate the phenomena 1 and the 2 after the explanation now of an event. It's desirable to predict. We have got an explanation that our production of this one is higher, the other production is low. So we can predict in the near coming future, if we plan, what will happen. So when and in what situation the event can occur again. We have said about the census. We can predict that the next population, like in the world's population, we are predicting by 2050, the world's population will be past 9 billion. So it's about prediction. We are not there, but the prediction is very clear that in that 2050, the population will be at 9 billion. Number 6. We are saying now 6 is the involuntary research. When you speak about involuntary, we have something voluntarily you do by yourself. Involuntary, you don't do by yourself. It's the external forces which is making you to do that. So we are speaking about what? It's a research done due to external pressure. We have 2 categories of this one. Number 1, we have junior fault members whose professional security or advancement may depend in a part or a scientific publication. On the higher level, this is what we do in terms of the writing and doing those scientific research. Those are the ones that will be published. You can patent your publication. But when you speak about this other one, it's about college students who must undertake a research to satisfy their requirement of the course in the research method. You will have a unit of research and you'll have to base your ratings based on your research. So it's a requirement. So it's an external pressure of an exam that will require in the process, so that the student must just undertake a research to satisfy the requirement of the course in the research method to be graded. But this other one, we are saying what? It's about professional security of an advancement. Let's say in an agriculture, research of a crop. You research of a crop in terms of their yield development. Then we come with maybe another new kind of a breed with more advanced level in terms of its production and even the other features like resistance and even what? Tolerance to the diseases and even the rest. So we will be done with this one now. Our next slide that I'll make will be characteristics of a good research. So you can stay tuned, you can subscribe, then maybe you can get more information on this topic of research. Thank you very much.